There we go.
Hi, welcome to Transformations with Tara. This is Tara Sutphen. And my guest and co-host is Jason G. McKean. And he is the voice of over a million ohm recordings throughout the world. And he is a great producer. He is the Ohm Tarot Wizard. He has been teaching a lot of classes throughout the world, especially Japan. His book was, he has a couple, like 3 books that have come out this year. And well, 4, because one of them is translated into Japanese. So welcome, Jason D. McKean.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yes.
Tarasutphen. Thank you so much for that
Right.
wonderful introduction. And yeah, it's like, you know, not only do I, you know, produce books, you know, for myself, but I'm helping other writers kind of get their act together so that they can produce their writings into novels, into books, and shake that money tree. Get you know, income going from, you know, your talent.
Yeah, or at least lead you to where your talent is. You know, because sometimes when you're reading the cards, it's all about the clues of your life. You know, where I'm doing, have now a new school called Star Love Astrology, and Matthew Engel and I are teaching it. And so we've been talking a lot about the money and where money is in charts. And, you know, and we're going to go through where careers are easily seen, a lot of different things. You know, we're doing the lecture series first, and then, you know, we'll do teachings probably later as on a personal basis, but we're doing the bigger picture to where if people are just interested in general of where, you know, their life is, or where other people's, where it's seen. So we're uncovering a lot of that. So today we're going to talk about the money tree. And the money tree is something that I use all the time. I have always used the money tree. I use, you know, I'm always using, everybody knows, and it's always been the greatest thing. You know, I just feel, you know, remember when it was December 21st, 2012? Remember that was supposed to be the big day that, you know, the world was going to change. Well, we had a huge party up at the Stephen Brewer Center at Hilltop. And it's just, you know, it's burned down now, but man, we loved that place. And it was my favorite spot, actually, Malibu, because in the outdoor chapel. And so I hope they're rebuilding it. And it's outdoor chapel, and you looked out the 180 degrees out into the ocean and stuff. But they had this beautiful lodge up there, and we had this big party, and they use the gold coins, because I always use gold coins in all my meditations. And so I was meditating with everyone, as well as, you know, those chocolate gold coins were everywhere in the lodge, all over the tables, all around the fireplace, all over in the, you know, the food areas and stuff. It was really cute. So yeah, so, you know, it's a thing. It's a thing to, you fake it until you make it. Sometimes, you know, your mind is, you know, we live in reality, but our whole lives are somewhat of an illusion, because we're organic beings, you know, that we come from somewhere else, and we're born onto this planet, and we experience the things that we do, and we have to create our lives. It's a continued progression. So we have to step into our best selves, and we have to step into creating money. And to make it easy on ourselves is to know what we're best at, and to continue kind of to open our pathways, and to stop blocking ourselves. And so this is where this money tree comes in, you know, where you meditate with it. And so, I'm always sitting on gold coins in my meditations, my mind's eye, and before me, the money tree. So, and the money tree sits before me. So, and you want money, you just have money drop. And I always am saying that, in meditations too, that, money is like leaves on a tree. It's an infinite, limitless source. And so we just allow it to be our limitless source instead of allowing the blocks that we do. So, yeah. And, everybody has like little like upsets with money for sure. Everybody's blocked. Why? Because we allow ourselves to be blocked. So we have to like get past it. So how about you, Jason? What do you feel about the money tree?
Well, I was going to ask you as far as like when you're visualizing the money tree, because you work with that as a strong symbol of, it's like a go-to place for you. As far as is there a specific look to it? Is it always there with abundant gold coins on it? Is it ever changed up? Do you ever increase the size of it, or is it in a different setting? Is it in nature? Is it in the city? It's like how is it that you work with it in that way?
Well, that's just it. It's about making sure that it's not a scraggly tree that's standing before you.
It's not a Charlie Brown Christmas tree.
It's not a Charlie Brown
money
Christmas
tree.
tree.
Okay.
No. No, it's not a stick with one little gold coin on it. Okay. It's going to be a lush tree, very lush. It can be just a tree of life, but it has to have a lot of leaves on it. So whether those leaves, I used to do a lot of them where they were like platinum apples. And so if I needed something, I felt like I could pick platinum apples and put them in a wheelbarrow, and then my sentinels would take it and secure my future. And so this is the thing, is that however you want to do it. So it doesn't have to be gold, but it should be, a rich source of some kind. Yeah. It's always producing something. So I've always looked out, how are things producing along in different ways. Yeah.
What's interesting about it being like an apple or something that is, it represents something that is an organic thing that grows from like a seed, and it's like it can be seen as a process of accumulation of growing. It can be seen as something where you are growing in your frequency, as far as how you match the frequency of money.
Yeah. And just the harvest. I've done people know, because of my meditations, they do a lot of visualization. So and I believe that I trick the mind. That's how I feel. I'm always tricking the mind as a hypnotherapist. So because I think that we get in ourself, get way in our own way. But I've always been like, where am I walking toward, and do a metaphorical path when in my meditations, like where am I having to come across any blocks? Where are they going to be? Where am I going? And it's always just so interesting, like for when I started doing it, like in the late 90s, or maybe like 96 or something, I started playing around with a scene, and I had written the path, and which is a metaphorical, helps you get into where you're going and what blocks you on a symbolic sense. So the thing is that I would see this path before me and what was blocking me and what was allowing me to go forward. And I would see this big boulder like in the middle of my dirt path. And I would be like, wow. And so I would say, okay, I need to go up and around the boulder. Am I going to go up the hill or am I going to walk around it? Well, was I going to go the hard way or was I going to go the easy way around something? And so it was like, that's an interesting. So, when you do come across things that like, don't go this way, am I supposed to still go forward in that direction or am I supposed to go in a different direction? Yeah. And so it stops you. It stops you from, so, I mean, my life hasn't been having to deal with that sort of stuff for a long time. But the thing is that, I was given those symbols. And so now, it's just meditating in front of the tree and in meditating, I'm usually in a Celtic circle with an altar before me and, standing on gold coins. And I see them 360 degrees everywhere. But, the money tree is a beautiful symbol. And it's the tree of life. And the more you give it life in the metaphorical sense, the bigger that symbology is for you. So if it is bearing fruit, so if you're seeing progress for something, or you're wanting to ask a question on, would that project be fruitful? That's where I came in, because I'm always playing. I want to see what I'm see the future a little bit clearer. So in symbology, it's really easy just to get there. Because sometimes, you'll say, oh, I want to see the future. I want to see how it's really going to be. Well, you don't get to a lot of that. Your guides block that big time. Gravity blocked that big time for everybody. Because, if we really remembered how terrible things were, or how sad we were, or how, we're not with this loved one or that, or we might be messes, bigger messes than we already are. So we have to figure it out. And that's the big thing, is figuring it out now, isn't it?
Well, I think it's about having just enough information that we stay inspired, and that, we when we come up to obstacles that we don't get overwhelmed by them. We can, with clarity, with a sense of direction, just find our way forward, and just deal with like the little things as we need to, but keep our eye on the prize, keep the big picture in mind. I think that, with money, that spiritual folk can wrestle with that, right? Because it's like, well, I need to be spiritual, and not like so much concerned about, money. And it's about how one builds a relationship with what it is that they do with money, how it is that they're able to be their spiritual self, and to be able to spend money in a way that is aligned with their values. Of course, it's like we have to pay, for our electricity and, our taxes and all of these things that feel like, oh, it's like, why do I have to do that? And it's like, everyone does, in order to sustain themselves on the planet.
Right.
But those things that are our like extracurricular activities, and the bigger, directions that we look for, how it is that we either connect to a community or so, and make sure that we are part of like this larger spiritual group. It's and being okay with creating as as much money as you need to be able to keep it moving, to keep a solid foundation for yourself, so that you can do your spiritual work.
Right. Right. And that's the thing, I mean, you'll have many blocks, when you're feeling great about life. There are people who come in to wipe you out. They're different, like you say, taxes and things that, we don't want to deal with, but, it's really not concentrating on that. It's like getting past all that. You're, just keep going. Remember that it's a limitless source. You just have to keep calling it in.
Yeah. And it's like you're looking to utilize your own abilities, what your natural gifts are, or your acquired skill sets, in
Right.
order to activate those, so that you're fulfilling parts of yourself, and you're also monetizing it as well. I mean, that's just a system that we live in as physical beings. We live in a system where we pay for things. Things aren't just given to us. It's like there's that give and take in it. And it's like you can see it as abundance. Do we live in a place where we can cultivate abundance for ourselves, or is it lack? Do we cultivate experiences where it's like, it keeps showing us like, oh yeah, see, I'm getting ripped off here, or this isn't working for me here. Can we switch it? Can we learn to plant our harvests in ways that we're seeing progress, that we're being in that abundant space, and
Right.
and then at the end of the day we can be happy about it rather than griping about it.
Right. And and there are things that do come up and you're like, really, I was dealing with something yesterday.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's lots of stuff that'll
Right.
come up, and it's like, really?
Right. Yeah.
Like, universe.
Yeah,
Shake
I
your
was
fist.
dealing with something yesterday because I use Expedia a lot. And so I have some kind of what is it? Credit for $356. Well, so I called Expedia, and she said, oh, well, that ran out April 27th. And I said, well, here on the thing, it says July 29th. So you're telling me you're going to keep my $356. And she basically said yes. And so I was like, and it was through Alaska Airlines. So I don't think so. But I was like, they're sourcing out to different countries. She doesn't really talk that great of a language. I was just like, I'll call back tomorrow. Thanks. It says July 29th. I'll talk to somebody else. Yeah,
right.
maybe he knows a little bit better English. So anyway, it was fine, but it's just that sort of thing. It's, ridiculous that I should even have to talk about that, or that they would want to keep my $350, because already I guess I've lost like 3 different credits on things. But, the bottom line is that, I don't hold on to what holds me back. I'm always going forward pretty fast. So the thing is, so how do you handle your life and your situations that come up? So it's not about the past or about your what you can glean kind of for free. So like Jason was saying, it's your skill set. And there's many lists that give you ideas on how to make money. So, and really easy things, from feeding the neighborhood to the elderly, the if you can't leave your home, there's totally different, there's like things that you can do. If you don't have a car, there are things that you can do. There's, if you have the internet, there are things that you can do. There's a lot of really easy jobs these days to get where you don't have to be, too mobile. So really, do look those up on the internet because they are there. Yeah.
Yeah. Tarot wizard, it's like all done from home these days.
Well,
That job.
Jason really went when, Jason was somebody who was behind the scenes for so many years producing. I mean, 27 years, Jason, more. So 30 years producing.
Yeah. I have like a record, we
Oh, right.
my first record was back in 1985. So I've been producing for, I'm scared to say how long. Yeah, but it's almost 40 years.
Right.
So when my beard was this long.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
If I even had a beard back then.
Right. So that's the thing, is that, so he's a producer. He's easily can, art director, produce quality, sound, any recordings. So that's, Jason's expertise for many, many years. And so when it came up to where I nudged him into being, the Om Tarot wizard. I gave him the wizard cards. Let's go. Yeah. We were in a project. It was great. Yeah. So
yeah, it's become an industry for me.
Yeah. It has been an industry for you.
Yeah. It's funny, because it's like opportunities they can open up, and either you inhabit those opportunities or you don't. You say yes to them, or you say, well, I don't know if I can do that, and maybe I'll put my big toe in and just see what the temperature of the water is. But there's something to be said for diving in as well, and if it works for you, if you're able to sustain it, then absolutely, go for it. It's like you're given green lights there, and sometimes you create those green lights for yourself. Sometimes you give yourself permission. I think that there's a lot of inner work that one does, and being able to create money or be in a state of abundance. There's absolutely, a continual inner work, so that you don't just remain stagnant in what it is that you do, that you raise the bar so that it keeps up a level of motivation, keeps up a level of like kind of those moments of like, can I do that? Can I really push myself to that level? And it's like, yeah, that's how you grow. That's how you make advancement in your life. And so it is all, built into that. And that's, that it's a frequency, that you become attuned to, and you become attuned to living at that frequency. And money is a frequency, it's an energy, and how it is that you connect to that and stay connected to that, so that you're okay with it. You feel worthy of what it is that you are receiving for what it is that you put out into the world. It's like we we'll have a skill set that we monetize out in the world, whether you're working for an employer, whether you're doing something just sitting at a desk and doing paperwork. You're still monetizing your skill set. And whatever that is, it's like knowing that you're that you're worthy of the receipt of, money which helps to sustain you.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's sustained. Most people are not into money for money as itself. There's the new Bitcoin people who are handling that. And it's kind of an interesting thing. It's like we all have to probably get on board somewhere there. And at least to understand it, because it's a different language, different money language, and we don't want to be
Right.
stuck in some old paradigm. We're now in the digital age. Now they're ramping it up. So yeah, so and that's the thing about staying with the technological age, is trying to keep up, because boy, it goes fast. It really does go fast. And people are wanting it all to slow down, and people will go off the internet and go off social media and go off. But it's not really, it's you have to play a happy medium. Of course, you don't want to be so obsessed that you're always in front of some device. You want to have a real life. Have a real life. And with that real life, you want to be able to keep continuing to grow and to learn. And that doesn't necessarily mean a new set of skills. It's like, if you're a plumber, you're good at fixing things. You're maybe not good at doctoring. It's we're not good at everything. So we can be okay at everything, but not, we're experts when we concentrate on something. So that's the thing, is where do you want to put your concentration? For me, we know where I've put my concentration. My concentration went on psychic ability and hypnotherapy. That was, it was my strongest really subjects when I was young. And so I went ahead and went for it. Yeah. And who knew, because I was thinking like, this is ludicrous. Why? But only because, people love what I tell them in their future, but it was a lot of responsibility. Yeah. Because people remember what I say, 35 years down the line, and their whole life changes because of it. So it's very important, just to really be on the up and up, have some integrity in my work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that's job number one.
Yeah.
Is the integrity part, the allowing people to, find where there's hope too,
Yeah.
in their own situations, their own
That's right.
life, and to build, in that realm of hope, and creating a place of how one sees their earning power, again, for creating a wealth for themselves. And if they are hopeful about that, then that's motivation. And it's not where, it's the guarantee of it, but it's motivation of where, people can live a life where they're not just, month to month, or week to week or day to day, where they feel like if they make a certain choice that it's gonna
could
all
be wrong, the choice, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like with the last few years there, with the pandemic and the lockdowns, where, it's like it's an environment where all of a sudden, where just anything is possible, and hey, let's go, here. It's like, oh, it can be, a moment where, people start to like constrict their own energy. They constrict their own hope for themselves. And hopefully that is like changing, where people can get into an expansive, mindset about themselves, and start doing the work of, if they need to kind of build back up within themselves, then that they are using meditative techniques to, start at the core of it, to start building the internal foundation of belief in oneself, and again, like finding, those gifts, those talents, those skill sets uh, that are looking to be expressed in ways that are productive, that, people can monetize. They can easily just say, well, that what I do is worth this, and they're able to put it out there, and not have anything hold them back in that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it. Yeah. And it's not about the holding back. Sometimes we're held back to make sure that we go in a different direction. Sometimes that's where those blocks come in, or the tests. But the bottom line is that where is the easiest pathway? Because if you're not to be a certain career or a certain way to make money, then it says no, 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 go this way. Your life will be far better served if you do this. And so it's just, sometimes it's just like keeps taking you over, taking you over, taking you over, because not everybody is meant for working for a big company. Some people are really good at being their own boss. So this is the thing, is just to keep going in what direction is best for you.
Yeah, finding like a niche, or a
Yeah.
a certain like playing field, or a level that works for you, where one's priorities may be to not just be working all the time, but to find time for family, for partners, for hobbies,
Right.
these other areas of life that can feel fulfilling.
That's your prosperity in life as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely tied into it, because,
Yes.
it's like, on people's gravestones, it doesn't say, this person, showed up to work every day of their life, good for them. It's usually, not the thing that is touted, where it's just like, man, this person could work.
Yeah.
It's like, it's usually measured by, your place in a community, in a family, how much you loved, how much you were able to express, love, and all. And yeah, I mean, it's part of it, right? Like work and all that. It's part of it, because it's like, you're looking to sustain yourself on the planet. You're looking to help others, whether it is family and all. But it's something that it's about that abundant life, where it's like you didn't just limit yourself to a certain level at some place. It's like you kept growing, and with that idea of a money tree, right? It's like, you can make that tree as big as you need it to be, for kind of just keeping your own priorities, keeping it so that you are able to have a full, well-rounded life.
Yeah, we want that beautiful, incredible life. That's what we all come to seek. We just are feeling sometimes that we're working too hard, or we're working in the hamster wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So see, you mentioned like some of your meditations, that like you have like a life force activation that has to do with wealth, do you not?
Yes, I have life activation wealth, Yeah, wellness, weight loss. Yeah, there's some health activation, love. Yeah, but yeah, life force activation. Had that going for 24 years or something now. Yeah, love that life force activation because that's our big thing now, isn't it? Look at who came in to say hello on the radio.
Who's that?
The best girl in the whole world.
Well, does the best girl have a name?
Yeah, it's Everest.
What?
She can't hear you.
Oh, of course, you've got headphones on.
I got headphones on.
She's like, I just wanted her to like through osmosis, like be able to.
Yeah, say hi, Uncle Jason. He
Hi,
can
Everest.
hear you right here. Right here. He can hear you.
I heard you. Welcome.
Say thank you. He said welcome.
That's sweet.
Yeah, she's the best.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the abundance in grandma's life.
That's right. The best. The best one.
So with the like some of the other meditation, you had mentioned the path as far as like, you know, helping to make sure that your own path is a clear trajectory, right?
Yeah.
You know, towards your goals. But that's kind of open-ended, right? As far as like if you set up a goal of like, you know, making a career for yourself for a certain amount of money, that's just something that you can build into that
You
particular
just build into
meditation.
that, right? Yes. Yeah. And that's a lot what Jason and I do is help build you into whatever it is that you are most destined for. And to help you overcome any sort of agony, for sure.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes that agony is just created from within. You know, it's like last night we were going over these in tarot class. You know, with every goal that someone is looking to look to manifest for themselves, it's like at the core of it, are you worthy of attaining that goal? Are you worthy of keeping what it is that you create for yourself? You know, are you in a place where you can you know, at your deepest core, not look to sabotage yourself if you get close to what you're creating, or it's like you get there and it's just like you fall apart because it's like I am not worthy of
But that's it. You know, people get so close to their success and then they sabotage. Yeah. So you got to be so careful on the sabotage level.
Yeah, because I like to, you know, remind people that success is not just about like hitting one level and saying, I've made it. You know, it's about a flow of energy. It's a flow of you know, how you move through that, how you resonate with it, and if you need to change things up, then you know, to either you know, create a little bit more you know, excitement in what it is that you're doing, so that you're not just flatlining, that you're not just, you know, going through the motions of something. You know, I think that that's an important part of how you know, you keep the money tree alive.
Right.
You know, how you water that tree and create an environment of where it can flourish.
What do you need? I know. We'll get you something in a minute. We're on the radio right now, but we'll get you something in a minute. Okay.
See that, I love that. It's like, kids will come, hey, I need to eat or something. It's like, we're doing a show right now. It's like, I don't care. I'm hungry.
Yeah. And she's so sweet about it.
I mean, that's life calling. All right. So where can people reach you? I know where they can reach me at jasondmckean.com. Jason, JASON, as in Dragon Master, McKean.
Dragon Master.
I am a dragon. You're the dragon. So I know about that dragon energy. Yeah, and I have classes 3 times a week that are tarot classes, and also specialty classes, publishing, self-publishing, for authors who want to publish their own book. I was just talking to one who's 94 years old, published his first book. 94, was just interviewed by a TV host who is gonna help promote his book. It's like, it's fantastic. I'm just so happy for him. And it's a journey to be able to take what is a creative pursuit, a project, and to solidify it into something, a book or music or something, and then express it out into the world. And it is a way to, there's ways of creating like passive income too, from books and all that you have out there. It's like, there's not a lot that you have to invest except for time, talent, and just getting it in a professional package.
Mm-hmm.
So where are you? Where can people reach you, Tara?
They can find me at tarainsight.com, TARAINSIGHT.com. And I had just written myself a note to upload our teachables, mine and Matthew's. So those are going to be appearing here. And so we're going to have them on Teachable. And so I'll let everybody know. Mine is coming from it's our school is called Star Love Astrology School, but it probably will come through my Vortex Mystery School that I'll upload. So I'll let everybody know when I do that here in the next few days. And then I'm almost done with my book. I know that I've been talking about it for a long time, but it's been a process, been a big project. And yeah, and so it goes to the agent and we go from there. It's fun. So
Fantastic.
It's a fun one. Yeah, it's a really fun one. So
yeah, it is a great book. It's a fascinating read, and it's integrative, in your own life, and it's just a really beautiful way to, take some of these areas and all and bring them together.
Yeah, and so it talks a lot about not a lot, but it sets it up as far as the psychic ability and stuff, and then we go from there. Oh, look at it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Yes. Thank you for being on the show, Jason. And thank you, everybody. Lots of love, blessings. Meditate with your money tree. It's very important. Lots of love. Blessings.